He is risen! Give it up for Jesus, everybody. You know, one thing I've learned in my life thus far is it's not gay if it's gay for Jesus. And I know what you might be thinking. What could that entail? Well, it doesn't mean giving him a pat on the back or something, little, Dalai Lama tongue suck. Although it could, who knows? But you know what I also realize is that it's not a sin if it's Jesus porn. So what I do, I like to imagine Jesus as a 3D shapeshifter, much like Carmen Diaz as Mystique in Epic Movie. Just so sexy. I had fantasies. I think that's when I started to go through puberty. And as a young, good Christian, I'm no longer a good Christian. But as a young, good Christian, I would be, thank you, Lord, for Carmen Electra. And I'd learn the ways of a man. I'd be in the shower. The glass panel would start steaming up. And I'd draw a set of breasts. And I would always make sure to put a little cross around her neck. I'd thank the Lord, and then I'd start thanking my, my 12-year-old penis, I guess. And I'm not a faggot, Sean. I'm bi. Bipolar, pull up. It takes a lot to get a bipolar diagnosis when you go through life for 22 years without a bipolar diagnosis. So a big part of my story is my relationship with the Mary Jane. Can I get a whoop whoop? Yeah, Mary Jane fucked me like Jesus split the seas, I guess, for Moses. I don't know. I'm not well read in my Bible. So weed was a big part of my life for a little while. It was the first time that I could feel comfortable being myself and opening up my mind and speaking, because I wasn't used to speaking up for anything, anytime, any place. My dad was going through a pretty tough time. My parents divorced, and he ended up in like this depressive cycle of just repeating the same things. Your mom did this, your mom did that. But of course, my dad did a lot of damage too. He wasn't present as my mom needed him to be. So my mom said, "Fuck off, cunt. Don't need you in my life no more, bitch." That's what I fantasized. It was the only way to cope as a 6-year-old, having to parent my father. Fuck that guy. No, I love my dad. He's a great guy. So anyway, the weed was there. It was there to help me love myself. And I went to Thailand after trying university a couple of times, and it wasn't working. It wasn't meshing. In university, it's kind of fun, but like everyone's partying. It's not like too dissimilar to Whistler. And people are pretending that they're studying, and like they're passing their classes anyway, because it's, universities for schmucks. And no, my brother graduated, but he's kind of a schmuck. And so I started smoking weed when I got back after I dropped out of my program for the first time. And it was bliss instantly. And I remember I could do this forever. I could do this for the rest of my life. I essentially vowed then that I'm going to smoke weed every day. And I did. And then after a while, that devil's lettuce just flapped its flappy wings, and I started to soar but more like a bat than an angel. It's a really nasty creature. You know, it's hard to invoke the psychosis that the weed gifted me. Imagine, you know, you're walking around the village and you hear people whispering and murmuring, and you think they're talking about you. Well, that guy's got a nice ponytail. Oh yeah, it must be me. But it would get much darker, much quicker. And when I got home, and I don't know how much weed I smoked, it was a lot. But I ended up in the psych ward for the first time, so how that happened, I was watching a lot of comedy, watching a lot of Joe Rogan. It's like, oh, this is what it means to be a man in the 2020s, or I don't know, this society right now, right here, right now. And I was doing jujitsu, I was fucking listening to the podcast and all that. And then it was suggested to me that I get into some slam poetry. So it hit the slam poetry. You know, we've all seen that scene in 21 Drum Street. You know, for example, RMU. Who? You? Me? Then what does it mean? When we look outside to the ski slopes and we go deep within and then we think, nope, don't want to deal with that bullshit right here. I see a dumb bitch walking by. Big ass, no titties. Another bitch walks by, big titties, no ass, and I ask why. Can't these women be the same woman? And of course, it doesn't stop there, it just goes deeper and darker until the demons start speaking their songs of slithering, blistering barnacles. You know, Tintin had no qualms with this man at that time. And then you get Asterix and Obelix in there, and they're fucking galling up these motherfucking Romans. I don't know. Were the Romans even real? And so I'd go into these spirals. And of course it led to not just verbal diarrhea. It pretty much led, not like real diarrhea, obviously, but I mean sometimes, who knows? You know, maybe if you have like some can of butter with, I don't know, some Thai curry or something. I don't know why you do that, but. And it turned physical. So I woke up one day, actually I was at a comedy night at the Crystal Lounge. This would have been 2017. And I'd been smoking a shit ton. I went there with the intention of gifting a joint to the comedian that I liked the most. And they all looked kind of like the same person. There's something missing about these people. You know, it kind of seemed like maybe they were doing this comedy thing for the money, or for some tail, or for the fame, and not just simply, you know, to be honest and try to be your true, authentic self. And anyway, found the one comedian that I liked, and I started heckling him. Started giving him some weird signs. I think I did some pussy licking or something. I don't know. It got pretty bad. And he called me up on stage, and it was like I got hit with this feeling. It was like, I don't want to call it God, because it was definitely not that. And I remember closing my eyes, and there's just this hologram, and it's like Joe from Family Guy talking about how, you know, he got paralyzed from being gay for Jesus. And it was rough. So anyway, I ended up running through the streets half naked. I think I tried to hitchhike with my dick out. And that's when the police came in to pick me up. They're like, hey, oh, here's a ride. Just kidding, it's the police. And I remember, I was like, it was weird. I thought I had inherited the spirit of Eminem, so I'm just like spitting wackety wiggity bobbity beat, and like, you know, he's looking at me like I'm some kind of crackhead. And I kind of was. And so this persisted for a long time, you know, like, well, let me clarify a little bit. So I ended up in the psych ward for 2 weeks, and I remember being in that solitary confinement room because I stole a woman's luggage, and I asked her to tie a banana peel around my wrist. And of course, she's like, "What the fuck?" And that's how I ended up in the solitary confinement. And I didn't believe that I was like in the right place, and I thought it was like an escape room that I could get out somehow, some way. And I remember there was like a silver electrical panel without like the holes, fortunately. I don't know what kind of damage this would have done, but I just thought, oh, I just got to perform some cunnilingus on this silver electrical panel, and that'll be the code to get out. So, you know, I remember long ago, you know, like if you don't know how to lick a woman's vagina, you just start with that letter A and then you work your way through. So it didn't work. I guess my tongue was not good enough for that electrical panel. And it just got, you know, I got out of the psych ward and I thought, maybe the weed was kind of a problem. And then within the next month, smoked another joint. And then before you know it, I was back out there on the streets, hitchhiking with my dick out. But no one picked me up this time, so instead I kind of roamed through the industrial park. I had found an old pair of jeans. They might have been like size 40 or something, and I found a golf club, so I used that as a belt. And ended up at the transfer station, and this woman looked at me just absolutely horrified, because, you know, I'm there holding this golf club like this with these size 40 pants on. And she looks at me and I tell her, "I've lost my mind." And then she called the cops, and then I got back to the psych ward. I'm like, okay, maybe the weed does kind of some serious damage to my head. Maybe it's just not the right thing for me. And after a while, and it's like 6 months of like pretty bad depression, like honestly like praying for brain aneurysms and stuff like that. So I don't recommend having to go through that. But after about 6 months, moved out of my parents' place, found a place to rent. Within 2 months of renting this place, this room, I knew that there was some weed in the closet. That's Skylar. He's trying to tell me to get into some slam freestyle here. All right, Skylar, you don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to keep it real. Trying to get back in time with the shit that I went through. With the weed, the psychosis. Anyway, started smoking weed again. And I was like, you know what, I kind of want to live out of my car in Tofino. And I didn't really jive with me, so I decided that I'd get back out to Thailand and try my hand at that. And when I was in Thailand, I bought some mushrooms, bought some more weed. There was a music festival, all kinds of fucked up, and somehow ended up in the Thai psych ward. And it's a weird place. Like, I don't recommend going if you can. But the showers are really dungy. There's no toilets. There's no bum guns. There's just a hole in the ground. And there's like a big 10-gallon pail of water, and you scoop a little pail out of that and you clean up your asshole like that, and might as well take a shower at the same time. And then this old froggy man, he was kind enough to join me in the showers. And I didn't know what was going on. And I realized, oh my God, this is Jesus. This is the second coming of Jesus, and he's here to suck the venom out of my body. So he gets down in his nice Thai squat position, and he starts sucking my dick. And I thought, oh, I guess I'm not gay. And so I peed in that man's mouth, and I thank the Lord for a heavenly day. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Eldon, everybody.